So yesterday at the end of the VA video, I went on kind of a tangent about realtors. And I was like, as soon as I stopped, I went, okay, it's time for another one of these. It's been a couple of years since I've done the here are some signs you should dump your realtor. And I say realtor, and some people are gonna correct me because it's supposed to be realtor. I add an A, and I like to. Realtor. Yeah, because realtor, I don't know, I don't like it. So we'll get that out of the way because I always get a realtor correcting me. So when do you dump them? Okay, as a lender, I see every type of realtor you can imagine. I see the good, the bad, the ugly, the dumb, and the even dumber. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's here's the bottom line. This is a job, right? As a lender, this is my job. My job is to know guidelines, know where I'm in the market with rates, protect my clients, try to give them the best service possible, but also make sure that they're fully informed and aware of what's happening so they make decisions that affect them positively, not negatively. As a realtor, they have the same responsibilities, okay? They have a fiduciary duty to you. They should know the market. They should know what houses are selling for. They should know what's a good deal, what's a bad deal. They should be able to alert you to things like, hey, you should probably get a pest inspection on this house, or a home inspection, or what about this house? Or, oh yeah, that hill's totally gonna fall down and kill you. Stuff like that, right? However, as with many industries, just like lenders, we have good and we have bad. And realtors, same thing. Man, the bad ones are annoying, guys. They're so annoying, so annoying. As a lender, we just cringe every time you guys pick a bad one. And the reason is it does so much harm to you. So generally, the first thing is let's dispel a couple myths, okay? If someone says to you, well, I've been in business for 30 years, and you're like, wow, they've been in business for a long time. They must know a lot. I don't know, how many deals have they done? How many houses have they closed? How many houses have they closed in the last 6 months? You can be in the business for 30 years, but if you sell one house a year, I mean, that's not experience that I would trust or I would rely on. I would want to make sure that the realtor I was working with is a market expert because that is what they're being paid for. They're being paid to be a market expert. Now, a lot of times people go, oh, my buddy's wife's a realtor. She'll show us around. It's no big deal. No. As a buyer, you are not the one paying for the realtor. The seller is. Get the best one you can find. Don't get the buddy's wife unless she is the best one you can find. And there's not one best realtor in an area, period. It depends on what you're looking at. There are some realtors that are really good at houses over $1 million. There's some that are really good at $200,000. There's some that are great at condos. There's not one realtor that's amazing at every price point. So you really want to make sure that whoever you're working with is the expert in the price point that you're looking, okay? Here's a couple signs you should dump your realtor. Number one, they don't respond to you. Now, look, if you're texting them at 8 o'clock at night, I agree, they shouldn't respond to you. If you're texting and calling at 5 a.m. in the morning, they shouldn't respond to you. If you're texting or calling during business hours and you're if you're doing it every 15 minutes, you're annoying. It's not them, it's you. But if you're just asking hey, I'd really like to see this house, can we see it? And they don't respond to you for 2 days, that's not normal behavior. A good realtor will respond and be like, yeah, or no, or, it's not a good fit because of this, but they'll respond, okay? If they're non-responsive, don't sit there and be like, oh, follow up for sure, because maybe they didn't see the text. I don't know how busy they are. I can tell you that personally with my text messages, sometimes I'll look at it and I'll scroll back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed one. And it's just because we're in this age of communicate, and it can be really hard to keep up with. But at the same point, if you're working with a realtor who's not insanely busy and doesn't respond, yeah. And if they are insanely busy, just give them a day or so to respond. So number one, they need to be responsive. Number two, are they listening to you? Right? So if you say, hey, I really want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and my budget's $300,000, and they keep on showing you 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and they're $400,000, how does that work? That is not someone that's listening to you. Now, if you say you want a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and your budget's $200,000, and they're showing you 2-bedroom, 1-bath, that's to tell you that with your budget, what you have aspired to is not realistic. But it should be a conversation. It should be like, hey, I get that you want that. In this market, this is the price point for those houses. At the price point you are, this is what we are looking at. Okay? Just honest, transparent, ethical. Talk about it, communicate. Why am I showing you condos when you want a house? It has to be explained. If they can't bother to explain it to you, you need to run. Okay, they think they're a lender. And maybe that's because I'm biased that I hate realtors that think they're lenders, but lending is intricate. The amount of guidelines that we have in our head, and also no lender knows everything. It's impossible. Guidelines are constantly changing. Loan programs are changing. Everything's changing. It's in flux. So it's like, I will say to a client, hey, you know what? Let me check with an underwriter. I'll call an underwriter. Hey, what do you know about this? Most of the time they may know offhand. Sometimes they're like, you know what? I haven't had that question. Let me look it up, right? Now, when you have a realtor that thinks they're a lender, they're spouting off knowledge that they may have like overheard from a real lender like 10 years ago. They're not lenders. They're not doing it every single day. They're not in the market. So whenever they start telling us like, oh, well, you know, this guideline, it's like, you don't know guidelines. Like, what guideline are you talking about? You need to stop. Please stop. Please stop. Now, there are some that are amazing. There is one realtor that I work with, and she's not a lender, but man, I would love to hire her because her attention to detail, you know, every single transaction she pays attention to, she's like a sponge. But overall, if your realtor is trying to also be your lender or tell you about loans, be afraid. Just be afraid. And they might be trying to be helpful, but at the same point, not their job, right? It's not my job to tell you, hey, in that house, you should look for granite. Not my job. Like, my job is to tell you this is where rates are, this is how much money you need to spend. Everyone needs to stay in their lane. Another reason to dump a realtor is if they're mean to you. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are in abusive relationships with realtors. And I don't mean physically, but I mean like, there's a certain breed of people that always make you feel lesser than. And it doesn't mean they're better in any way, shape, or form. They're just super good at telling other people that they're not good enough. So we'll hit those where it's like the buyers come to me and they're like, oh, well, they said our offer won't get accepted if we don't do this, if we don't do that, if we don't do this. And they're just getting so beat down by these realtors that they just stop looking. And the bottom line is that it's like, look, you may not get a few houses, right? It doesn't matter if you're buying a house with a VA loan, or you're buying a house with 5% down, or you're buying a house with 50% down. If another buyer walks in and offers the same price at cash, you're gonna lose. Doesn't even matter. Nothing else matters. So when realtors are like, well, we need to make your offer more attractive, so if you could just say you're putting down more, not do it, but say it, like lie, or, you know, if you can waive your appraisal contingency, if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, then maybe we'll get your offer accepted. It's kind of like, hey guys, why don't you find them a house where what they actually qualify for will work. Okay? And it may be a waiting game. It is a super hot market. But sometimes people are like, well, if I have 3% down, no one's going to accept my offer. Or the realtor told me I'm VA, no one's going to accept my offer. It's not true. It's not true. You know, across the country, millions of those loans are being done. Millions of sellers are taking those loan offers. You know, a realtor who's just like, oh, well, if you can't do cash, like, it's not a good realtor. Like, look, I mean, of course you're easier if you're cash, like, I mean, it just makes me so upset because I see people get so beat down and they start to feel so worthless because they feel like, I guess I'm not good enough to buy a house. And if your realtor is making you feel like you're not good enough to buy a house, you're with the wrong realtor. There are so many good, smart, talented realtors. And the ones that I see, they don't treat people like that. The people who treat people like that are not successful realtors. It's realtors who don't really know what they're doing, but trying to pretend like they do, right? So if you're dealing with someone where they're starting to make you feel worthless and you're starting to feel like a bad person, get out of the relationship. Seriously, get out of the relationship. And that ties in with temperament. Temperament's really important when you're working with a realtor. You want to make sure that you're working with someone that's likable. And the reason is like, as a lender, I can tell you there are certain realtors where the sellers will avoid them at all costs. The listing agents are like, I do not want to work with them. They are the worst, right? And in my local market, there's one guy, he lies on every single offer. He'll tell the listing agent, oh yeah, they're putting down 50%. When they're doing a VA 100% down loan, like 100% finance loan. He just lies. He lies. And it makes it so that his clients don't get offers accepted because no one wants to deal with him. No one wants to deal with him, you know? And then we also have the diva coalition, right? There's like this whole breed of realtors where they're like so snarky and nasty and just mean. And look, every industry has this, so I'm not just saying that. But I mean, so brutal that no one wants to accept their offer either because no one wants to work with them. So you really want to make sure that the realtor that you're working with is likable. Do people like them? Do they do business? If you were in a coffee shop and you met this person, would you want to sit down and have a scone with them? Because if you met this person at a coffee shop and you felt like they were judging you and you didn't want to be near them, well, guess what? I bet you that's how the listing agent feels as well. So the big thing to know about this is that if a realtor is pushing you to do something you're not comfortable with, it's probably not the right realtor for you. And I know I'll get a comment that's like, oh, Jen, you're not a realtor, you don't understand. No, guys, I'm the lender that sits in the chair, that talks to the client on the phone, that hears all this stuff and just goes, why are they being abused? It's not okay. It is not okay. So you really want to make sure you pay attention to that. Really make sure that who you're working with is qualified, does a good amount of business, but is also the expert in your area and your price point. So important. And if they ever start to make you feel lesser than, dump them. No one should make you feel lesser than, ever. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments, feel free to reach out. I'm sure I'll do another follow-up to this one because I know I didn't cover a lot of points. I probably should have written them down, but it's been on my mind because I've had a couple clients recently where I've just been like, oh, please dump your realtor. So thanks for watching.